you're not posting it out on Facebook as a live either? Live streaming through YouTube onto Facebook? Is that?
It says here this meeting is being live streamed
to YouTube. Now, I don't think I can do to YouTube and Facebook at the same time.
No, that's all good. I'll find you on YouTube.
You find it on YouTube.
And you've lost me now. I'll just have to post the recording. It's too technical for me now.
Hang on, I'll just see if I can put it in the chat and make it more easy.
Oh, that'd be good.
So we're live on YouTube, and I'll just put it in the chat, and then you can just share that one, and that'd be awesome. Oh yeah, here it is.
Is it under the Love Ambassadors?
I'll put it in the chat, Mandy. So
I haven't got it in the chat.
No, me either.
Not yet. I haven't put it in yet. Just give me 1 sec. Here it is. Can you see it now in the chat?
No.
Yeah.
You might have to click on chat at the bottom of your screen.
Chat. Sorry, I was looking at our chat on Facebook. Oh God.
Yeah, no, the chat in here. So if you click that, it should bring you to the YouTube, and then you should be able to, or just share that YouTube on your Facebook page. Here it is. Yeah, you see it now in the chat?
I have to click on chat at the bottom of your screen.
Chat. Sorry, I was looking at our chat on Facebook. Oh God.
Yeah, no, the chat in here. So if you click that, it should bring you to the YouTube, and then you should be able to, or just share that YouTube on your Facebook page. Here it is. Yeah, you see it now in the chat?
I have to click on chat at the bottom of your screen.
Chat. Sorry, I was looking at our chat on Facebook. Oh God.
Yeah, no, the chat in here. So if you click that, it should bring you to the YouTube, and then you should be able to, or just share that YouTube on your Facebook page. Here it is. Yeah, you see it now in the chat?
I have to click on chat at the bottom of your screen.
Sorry, I was looking at our chat.
If you can put your volume, if you can turn the volume.
Here, so if you click that,
Is that me or is that your?
or just share that YouTube on your Facebook page. Here it is.
Mute, ladies.
See now? Yeah.
I have to click on chat at the bottom of your screen.
If you can put your volume, if you can turn the volume. Is that me or is that your?
But I just share that YouTube on your Facebook page.
Mute, ladies.
I'm not sure who's that's which. I'm not sure whose volume that's coming through. It's not coming through mine. If you can put your volume, if you can turn the volume. There's no volume on YouTube, Steve. Are you sure?
Yeah. That was me. I didn't realize I was because I'm on the YouTube thing and just shared it to my Facebook, so it was the volume off that. Sorry.
No worries. There's no volume on YouTube, Steve. Are you sure?
Yeah. That was me.
Steve, there should be volume on YouTube. Steve's just checking downstairs on the live.
No.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, you got it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my golly.
Go.
Well, what a hilarious start. Yay. Okay, we are not technological dinosaurs. We are savvy techie queens. We are claiming it in this new energy, new frequency. So welcome to this impromptu Divine Love Ambassador podcast. I invite these amazing, beautiful ladies of consciousness to co-create with me today and to join me today in this beautiful panel chat discussion, co-creation. And for those of you who may have been following this channel or following what I've been sharing, or you may have seen on these ladies' channels, is each one has joined me previously in Divine Love Ambassador. So we've had our unique chats, and now we're going to have our collective chat. So thank you so much, Mandy Horton, for saying yes, being here with me, Janine Savient, and Sharron Martin. Wonderful. So just Sharron, can you turn yourself on? Yeah. So you're muted at the moment. Awesome. Woohoo. Okay. So I've called this the energetics of the now, new earth frequency conversation. And you are definitely some of my fab peeps to talk the consciousness conversations and to hear what you've got to say. So I'm really excited to share this conversation in the now moment with you. So with that, the first question I'd like to go around and invite you to share on is, what is most exciting for your heart right now in this moment? Janine.
Wow. Really, what isn't exciting? Because for me, watching the incredible change that's happening to all those people that are awakening now, feeling the goodness that's rising, seeing the shine that's coming from so many people now, watching the acts of kindness, witnessing the togetherness that's happening, witnessing the people wanting joy more in their lives, cleaning their lives out, making their lives lighter, letting go of the dross, not just from within themselves, but in their lives physically. Like, just watching the change really, really take a hold now. And it's like the faster it goes, of course, the faster it's happening. And it makes me smile, like that deep, deep heart smile that seems to come through from somewhere else and then just move through the entire body. That's happening so often for me now when I just witness life. And I'm so blessed. I feel so blessed to be a part of this extraordinary moment here, and every layer of it that's unfolding now, every layer of it, the realizations, the aha moments, the perceived miracles, the magic, the deepening beauty, just our inner truth is unfolding and is enveloping us, every cell in our bodies. And yeah, it's just beautiful. That's what I'm excited about. Thank
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Mm.
Mandy?
Oh, look, all of that, Mary Jo, but for me, it's the heightened power and frequency. I love it. I love the magic in it, the creation in it, really coming into the creative being that we are in that flow and in that, and watching, more and more people switching on to that as well. That's what I'm loving. I sit back and I just smile, seeing this, just radiating out of people and through people, and seeing what they're actually, I've always said what we're doing is turning, love energy into matter. Whatever it is you really love is going to turn up for you. So you're creating that into the field and into this form here. And that's what I love seeing rolling on more and more people that are getting it, that they have a choice for one thing, and that they actually are this. They are creative beings. And I just love it. And the love that's emanating out of everyone now, this frequency of love that is just, oh, like, it's just, my body's going goosey. It just, and it excites me. I get really excited. That's me. I just want to, scream and yell and jump and play and do all that, because that's the energy of it. And I think more and more people, are coming out of that last 4 or 5 years we've had and are really starting to enjoy life again and feeling that joy moving through their bodies more. The feeling in the body's coming in, it's heightening, and I see that, and people are acknowledging it more and more. So yeah, that's what I love. Mm.
Sharron.
Yes. Well, all of those delicious statements are true in my world. And I think there are two main things that would be my addition to that. And one is that we are so absolutely in the physical of this now. And so whilst we have been aware of many of these things on those higher levels of consciousness and frequency, the invisible dimensions, now it is truly showing up in the physical. And so this is where we're about to sort of roll over. I feel we're on the, well, we're kind of in it, but we're in this rolling energy of this developing consciousness for humanity, and this catching the wave of ascension, I want to say. And then the other aspect for me that is really like, it's the crux of it in a way, is that the beautiful divine masculine are just coming into their expanded heart space, as is our masculine. We're coming into that greater balance. And so these are the kind of prerequisites for us as humanity to travel as a conscious set of beings, and as the planet, because we're in this co-creation, we're connected to, we're part of the whole planetary association and ascension, and this is what we're gearing up for. And I feel we're going to have it, and that we're in it, and we're kind of waiting for the tipping point, but the tipping point is building, and it's building super fast. And so it's exciting. It's this time for, like, the things that I've been writing about this morning are this because we've been in new energies, I feel, again, just in the last few days. Yes. And it's like we can now deliberately and consciously untether from every single connection that we've ever had with anybody, so that we can then rise up into this reconnection, like in a moment, right? In that sort of exponential moment of time. And that's what excites me, because I think, well, I don't want to presume to speak for everybody here, but we've all been in this awareness of ascension coming, and this hopefulness that it would arrive, that what we felt and believed and were showing would be true, and so it's like we're having that presented to us now in our reality.
Yeah, it is that, but it is the journey. We've been on that journey since birthing in this life, and prior to even this lifetime as well. We've been working on bringing ourselves into this time now, and like you've probably heard me say this, I knew this when I birthed in this lifetime, what I was, in a sense, having to play out all this stuff that I knew we'd all played out before, and I had many times, and the frustration of waiting, having to play that out, and knowing that was going to get me to this part here. But I just wanted to quantum leap it and not have to do all that stuff to get here. And now, this is definitely building, isn't it? And that energy over the last week has just been intense for many, myself included. I think I said on your post, Sharron, that the weekend, it was like we were squeezing self through this little slither of a gap that we could just get through, and it was like we'd come through, but there was still this part that was still trying to get through the slither, and it felt like we were stretching like a rubber band to get ourselves through it. And then in the weekend, over that weekend, was the most intensive. And then from that Monday, Tuesday, I felt the coming together again, like, yeah, we're through it, and now we're just bringing ourselves into that beautifulness of it. but yeah, very, was biggie.
It's been like dancing in a flow for me, especially in the last 24 hours. It's like I've come into this, I saw it one day coming out of the speakers, music coming out of speakers, and I was just really relaxing and I was listening to the music, and the next minute I actually saw the music coming out of the speakers in these waves. Well, in the last 24 hours, it's been like that for me in my life, where I've actually been in that wave and I'm dancing. I'm not dancing upwards, I'm the wave itself, and I'm dancing and flowing. And like Sharron said before, it's not, well, I mean, these are my words, but what part of what you were saying, Sharron, is it's not conceptual anymore. It's not just something that we read about, talk about, wish, dream about. And we're actually, this is experiential now. We are in it physically. We are creating it. We're living it. We're observing, and we're the experiencer at the same time. So we are, we're
not feeling like the crazy ones anymore.
No.
Exactly,
I don't know about
exactly.
that.
And we were only ever the crazy ones
We're
by
walking
those,
crazy.
yeah, that had no realization,
And even if we are now, it's in a really, really good way.
we're crazy
Absolutely.
excited.
Crazy about love and joy and peace and harmony and
Oh,
creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, also the reality for many is that it is challenging. So do you want to speak into that, what you're noticing, or just to shine some light for people on the challenges with this shift of frequency, so that they can go, okay, that's what's happening, and I'm not going crazy. This is all part of the ascension. So do you want to set off, Janine, with that?
Yeah, totally. Because right now what's happening is that we're releasing the old, and at the very same time we're birthing in the new. So it can get a little overlapping at times, and you don't know what's what, especially those that are right in the very thick of the release still. For me personally, the blessing is that I've been releasing for so long. There's so many years of my life has been releasing that it's not quite so difficult for me now, and I'm really in the birthing stage.
And I'd just love to pause you there. That's a really good point. That's the only difference. For people who may seem more, they're cruising, they're on the top of the wave and they're on their surfboard and they're going woohoo, to the ones that are like clamoring around in the wave and that's the only difference, is that we've just been putting down the density for longer, and you ladies longer than me probably, but you know what I mean. That's really the only difference.
And the reason that we're all on different parts of the wave is because we're supporting each other. So some started way back so that we could be here to support those that are still in the water clamoring around, and just to share and explain what's happening to them. Because sometimes when you're right in the very middle of the emotional dross, the muddy puddle, I call it, it's very hard to see what's going on. So when you sit with somebody and they just say, hey, I know that place, I've been right there so many times, and I understand how difficult it is to see what's going on when you're right in it. But I'm here now, and I've been there, and you'll be out of that before you know it. All you've got to do is blah blah blah, and in your own way get your own answers. Because I mean, we're all on our own. Every one of us is on our own pathway. We're all uniquely different in certain respects. We're all following the same direction. We're all got the same goal as our end point, but we will all do it in our own way and in our own timing. So, it's just for those of us that have been looking at self for many, many years, we walk beside, and we're just there to listen. Really, we're just there to listen and to model love in any shape or form that love wants to show itself through us, whether it's action, whether it's words, whether it's just being present, whatever it is, so that's the bit now, is that there's many that are releasing the old world from them at the moment. And some of that is very deeply held stuff, very deeply held stuff. So of course that stuff's going to play out. It's going to rise within their life in some way and show itself, so that this time they will really look at it, they'll face it and own whatever it is that comes up in them. So, and it's all a gift. Of course, it's all a gift, you know, just certainly doesn't feel like any type of wonderful gift when you're right in the middle of it. But,
No.
you know, I always say to people, I promise you there will come a moment when you go, thank God I went through that, because look at me now, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Take over, Mandy. Yeah, what's your perspective on all that?
What can happen in there is the body, right? So the body's going through the movement. It's what's releasing, and what is bringing in the space, opening space for new to land. And so often there's quite a lot of head pressure. There can be, you know, it's all a bit different for everybody, but there can be a bit of head pressure. So migraines and headaches, dehydration, really, really important to hydrate. And you know, I could say grounding as well, because the grounding is really important. But what I would say to everybody is just check whether you're grounding into the old grid of the planet or whether you're grounding into the high grid of the planet, because that will absolutely have an impact on the form. And there's always too a lot of body issues. So, you know, aches and pains, there's moodiness, you know, grumpy because I'm not feeling comfortable in my body. My body's uncomfortable right now. And so therefore there's a titchy, you know, I call it. And always that exhaustion comes along with it as well, where you really, if you know, I always feel for those. I mean, I've created my life the way that I wish to run it, right? So I have time out when I have time out. It's never an issue. I just roll with how my body's and what my body's indicating for me. So those I feel for, who are 9-to-5ers, who have to go to work, that live that sort of lifestyle, because they're the ones that I feel they get the pressure the most. And they're struggling, you know, dragging themselves to actually fulfill those roles. Mums on their own too, you know, when they're going through these sorts of things and the kids are at them, you know, mum's tired and exhausted, which can come not even just from these heightened energy flows, but in those times definitely important to rest and like I say, check on the body. The body's the one that's indicating. And also the heightened ringing in the ears. And for me, what I have always been understanding is the ringing in the ears is the atoning and tuning into the crystals within the earth. So we're becoming more crystalline, clear energy field. And that is us now attuning ourselves to the frequency of the planet, she, her, and us, you know, and that coming into alignment with that frequency, crystalline, and the crystals in the earth and the planet. So it can be quite intense. Sometimes those are, you know, I call them like big church bells going off, like so loud that you're in the cathedral and the echoing through, you know, it's like, wow, this is really loud today. And it used to be like, oh my God, I wish this had just shut up. But what I do find now is I'm like, yes, you know, because I feel into the crystal. I feel into that crystal, and you know, I mean, I just love this planet. So for me, all those beautiful crystals in the earth and us, we're all one.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
You just add something about the ears, just a slightly different perspective, same, but slightly different. For me, the left ear, I was getting a lot of earth energy, like waves. I was sitting at the water one day and I realized it's the water. And that was really calling me from the mountains back to the water and to connect to the earth and be in the water. As we know, the water holds memory, so there's a lot there to connect back in with that. But my right ear is actually more to do with the universe. It's more to do with really that expansive awareness. And often, even now, it's quite subtle, but it's when this is happening, it's reminding me who I am beyond my body form, we'll say. And when this is going, then I know it's the ocean is calling, or to be in the earth. So just a slightly different perspective, you know, and we you know, but I think the main thing, and this is what I share with people, because of course people do freak out and think, what's wrong with me? And what do you call it?
Tinnitus, yeah.
And so what I share with people and what I know to be true is if you can actually, just like you say, if you can embrace it rather than make it a wrongness, and realize it's actually just a calling home. It's just a call. And the more we can drop in and go, celebrate it. Oh, this is something really good. Then it really can shift the experience very quickly, and it can lessen because it is actually a calling home. That's what that's how I perceive it.
Yeah, and the vertigo is another thing. You know, I know a couple of people who really like find that a difficult thing. They really cannot, like, it's really quite severe. And with that, again, it's that centering. And I remember one of these waves, you know, because there's and this is something we could actually have a chat about, but I feel, you know, there's the image that gets put out there that we are getting these energies coming in from out here somewhere, and it's activating us to heighten all this. This energy's here because we're heightening. We're the ones bringing it in. So it's coming from within us and out. So in that, well, now just there's a movement there, and now and so with this one time there was this movement that I was moving through, and it was like when I left my, say, bedroom, walked out down to the lounge, it was as if all of my energy, again, like the squeezing I was just talking about, and having to squeeze self through and expanding like a rubber band, and then all of a sudden we're here together again, not so stretched. There is a stretching in a sense of this, what I'm finding, and I'm not sure exactly what this is yet. I'm still, you know, me ask another question and another question, we go down a rabbit hole to figure it out. But it's this, when I came out of the bedroom, say, into the lounge, I could feel that I'm still in the bedroom, and yet I'm in the lounge, and it was as if this bit here from the bedroom had to catch up with me in here. You know, it was like that. And then there was this, like, okay, now I'm all here. It was like that. So the movement in my human field was stretching. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's what it was like. And I've noticed it again in this last one, as I was saying just recently. So, yeah.
That feels like the changes in time, in linear time here in this reality, what you're just describing. Yeah,
that's what I feel too.
Slowing down, a quickening, like it's because it's dissolving, because the whole linear time concept is dissolving with the programming. We're having these glitches, what I would call glitches, and it's happening to so many people now. So that's just exactly to me what you described.
Yeah, no, I get that. And again, we talk about like the timeline jumping, you know, and I know I mentioned this on one of our threads, Mary Jo, just recently, about this last little bit, and how we've just gone through another time, sort of like a timeline jump. But what, and I think people sort of, you know, the image is we've jumped from this timeline to this one, but what that means within ourselves, for me anyway, and again, we can see what everyone else feels on this, is that it's that now I might have been going through this here at this point before the timeline jump, say, and there were things in this here and that I was creating in that now I've moved here, I don't need. I don't require to go through this here now. There's a movement and a quicker, it's almost like a jump of the ascension, a jump of the evolution within. And those things now aren't necessary to experience. You're in a different space, time, and reality, in a sense, within that culls all that out now, and you've got this other.
Totally agree with
supposedly
that.
Better. If we want to go there.
Same as, like, it's a higher frequency, so it's a faster vibration. However, I want to go to Sharron now to chime in. So what do you have to share, especially around your awareness of the challenges that people are going through, as these frequencies are quickening?
Well, I feel that it's useful for people to recognize that we've never done this before. So humanity, and in my understanding, other beings, other life forms have never ascended through taking the body with them. It's always been that we have ascended through exiting the body and then returning into a new and higher form with soul. But we are doing this unprecedented acceleration through an ascension with the body. Now, not everybody on the planet will do that, but mostly, definitely, I want to say definitely the first wavers are doing that. So we are challenged by having to find new ways of doing something that hasn't ever been done before. So compassion, I feel, is a really good place to sit, and especially compassion with ourselves. And then to be in the recognition that we're all doing this in a different order. We might have the same experiences, but not at the same time. And so we can be in that sort of soft-heartedness about it, I guess. And I feel that we're in, so for me, my experience with that has been, I've been describing it in the last day or so as like having air when we're skiing or when we're surfing. It's like we're on the surface and then all of a sudden we're in the air and then we land again. And that being in the air is a strange feeling because we don't have anything to connect to. And then it's like a time glitch or a blip or I don't know how to describe it, but I feel that we're in this movement of the nuances of how do we do this, and we don't have any precedent for it. So it's very exploratory, it's very experimental. So it's great to be having this kind of conversation because, yeah, for me, it's felt like every few days we have a new experience. And so yesterday, I think I was exploring that it feels like we're kind of in this stream of consciousness that has, strangely, bits in it. You know, it's like bits coming in. We're learning to be in conversation with the stream of consciousness that's in our energetic field, not so much in our thoughts. I can't really articulate that because I'm finding my way with it, but it has that kind of feeling to me, and I think we have to learn a new way of operating it. That this is where I feel like the writing I've been doing this morning is all about the miraculous, that we're coming into the miraculous, the time of the miracles and of the magic, and we have to learn how to work with that. But it's pretty exciting, and so it's good to be having this kind of conversation. A lot of what Mandy was talking about with the body, that's been very challenging for people. I'm showing that we've had brain upgrades. I've shown that we've had like a reassignment of the frontal lobe, really, where the frontal lobe is taking on higher consciousness and higher skills, abilities, and adaptations. And so a lot of the frontal lobe, which is often associated with short-term memory, is kind of going into the field or coming into our cellular memory. And then this kind of delicious heat coming up through the spine, which is very transmutational. And this is to me, this is our crystalline flow really coming on board, and the spinal fluids coming into this reconnection, re-smoothing, re-healing of our 12 strands of DNA, which is, you know, doing this, everything's on a spiral in my view. And so we're really coming into that point where we're going to have, I don't know, like a spontaneous explosion into the new or something. That it might be that we have that feeling, you know, where we suddenly are at a new point of enlightenment, and this will all, it's like when we get to that place, enough of us. So Gaia talks about that being 30% aware, awake, and conscious is enough to signal the sun to send us something that gives us that tipping point for. It's always been showing up to me as, you know, like a shunting of the planet. We get just slightly shunted. We have a north-south axis realignment because we're a couple of degrees northeast, and further into the photonic belt, and that's when we will have our individual, group, personal, planetary ascension. So I feel that we are right in the in the zone for that. And how that's going to look, who knows? I mean, I've certainly been given some ideas, but some people will go. Some people will leave the planet because they have chosen to do this in a different way. And some people will stay and go through this motion of the body being like rewired, reignited, realigned to the higher.
It's funny, and I know, you know, as far as we know, we haven't done this before, but for me, it feels very familiar. It feels like there's a knowing within me that we've done this before. We may not have got to the same place that we may get to this time, but for me, there's a real knowing of it. I don't know, familiar. It's like, well, I suppose it's that coming home, isn't it, to self, in the sense that, but I feel like I've walked that before in body and in form, you know. So
we've certainly been in that in the past. What I feel that we haven't done is this process of ascending in the body. We've certainly been in the higher dimensional frequency, and that's part of that recognition that you're speaking about, that coming home to self. But my understanding is we've never process this whilst being in the body.
Not in this
doesn't mean I'm right.
In form, yeah. We have into form, but not this one. That's the feeling I have.
Okay.
But not, you know.
And I would put it like, it may not be on the Earth, it could be on another planetary system or another galactic system where you've already done this.
Yeah, it feels, I know it. I feel I know it. I know that I feel the feeling in here before, that we've done this before, but it's, yeah, who knows really? I don't know, it might be a story I've told myself, but that's the feeling I have within that, yeah, it's a knowing for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a part that you shared, Sharron, that I can't even recall what you said, but what that part did was it brought up the knowing in me that up until now we have operated here more in our thinking mind, more on the level of thought, more logical, practical, and of course that's the way the program here is designed, to keep us in that space, in that limited space. And now what's happening is, and of course we've always been the field has always just flowed through us, but we've never known. And now what's happening is that there's like, this is for me, this is what's happening for me, and it's also happening for others that I share this with, they're feeling the same, is that there's a spaciousness that's growing within us now. There's this huge spaciousness that it is so much larger than the body it's in, and yet we go into the spaciousness in the body. And in that spaciousness is the pure field, is the purity of ourself. There is no way the programming can reach us or touch us in any form within that spaciousness within ourselves. So therefore, we are picking up the data completely differently. We are the pure data of the field in that space, and so our knowing is deepening, and we want that more and more, because it gives us thousands of times more than what the small limited surface area of the mind has always given us. So I can't even remember what you said, Sharron, but it just took me right there, and I thought, yes, that's the space that's growing now, and I call it the spaciousness, because that's what it feels like. And it's not like it's inside me, even though I go into it inside me. But when I go into it inside me, I am in it, because it's so much larger than I am. So,
and when you're, that's where it goes beyond what you're exactly talking about, which is the mental construct, which cannot fathom what you're really talking about, because it's an experience, as within, so without. All the great masters have been pointing us towards and reminding us for hundreds, thousands of years. this point in this towards this remembrance of who we are beyond this mental mind construct. But what I'd love to just chime in as well, to go off what you just shared, Janine and Sharron, is even just the last few days, one of the things I've been noticing, and I've been chatting to Rebecca, Sharron about it back and forth, is, and I was having a chat actually, but when I gave you the text of when my heart guided me to invite you onto this call, as I'm having a chat there, having my food, my dinner, I'm chatting with my inner being, my higher self, my inner being, and really, really what the chat was about was, stop trying to figure any of this out. It's not possible. And because I'd just been for a massage, and I was really noticing, if I tend to operate from my mental mind, or my ego tries to have the driving wheel, even to fathom what I'm doing for the day, even because of, like, two days ago, I had this day of just being on the computer and being super, super creative, and the day just went like really, really quickly. So then I woke up yesterday and I couldn't be near technology. So to my human, that's like, well, hang on, I thought we were going to continue on what we were doing yesterday. And that's like, nah. So, and what I was sharing with Rebecca was, it's like each day I'm waking up into a different frequency, different opportunity, different. So it's like my humanness is getting used to letting go. So instead of my humanness going, okay, this is what's going to happen today. And this morning I specifically, very consciously did it. I'm waking up and going, okay, what's today about? And surrendering that humanness to my heart and going, okay, you tell me, what's today about? You guide me. And the other thing that was coming up as I was sitting eating my dinner is, because the human's trying to work out, where am I going? How is it all coming together? I'm doing a little bit of this one day and a little bit of that the next day. And I know you know what I mean, Mandy. It's just, and all these little bits. And it's like the human's looking for, how does it all fit together? What's the tangibility? Where are we going with this? Just that's how the mind tends to go, or at least my mind. And my inner being was like, I know where you're going and I know how to get you there. So just relax and completely let go. You go in the back seat. I'm in the driver's seat. I'm in the driver's seat now. And this is where it's at. And the other thing, just on the very physical level, which may hopefully help some people to be aware of, is when the human or the ego or the limited mind is trying to grab hold of that wheel and figure it out and drive my life, pressure in my head. That's one of the biggest things I'm noticing, is pressure in my head. And once that goes into the background, pressure resolves. So that might be helpful for somebody who chooses.
The driving. Yeah. And I say to people, if you just consider being in the body of the Great Spirit that's ascending, and what we feel is we came here to serve. And actually, if we just stop that and just allow this Great Spirit that's ascending to serve us, because we continually keep pulling the drivers, getting hold of the steering wheel and trying to drive where we believe we oh yeah, I think this is what I feel we need to do, or I need to do, or whatever it might be, but it may actually not be. And to just feel being in the body of the Great Spirit, and it's like you just come out of that whole thing, you sit in the back seat, and whatever,
it's here for the ride.
Exactly. and allow it to serve us. It's that thing where we, when people are wanting to receive, and it's trying to create their abundance and all the rest of it, what we're trying to do there, obviously, is drive it. And if we just get out of the way and allow receiving, and that's really what we're up to, I believe, here now, is just receiving, allowing it to show us, allowing yourself to be in the back seat and just let it show you where you're heading. Because we're as much as we're saying that, we're also saying that it's about creating your future because it's not here now. So there is a little slight contradiction, but again, it's about creating it in, because it isn't here. We are creating it in. We have got something within us that's a desire to do something, because that's our humanness, and that's not going to completely dissolve for a while yet. But even in that, there's still the experiencing. And if we look at coming in here in this form, we came into experience. And yes, experience bringing that higher being, that awareness, that true awareness in, and walk that. But it's also about what else, you know? There's lots of toys out there to play with. There's heaps of things we can do. You know, this country's full of beauty. We can go and look at all of that and experience it all. So it's experiencing on different levels, but
I mean, another way I would just put it is that we've completed the separation age, which is believing that we're separate from all of existence and life, and living from that compartmentalization of who we thought we were. And of course, part of that compartmentalization has been holding our traumas, our unprocessed emotions. So as those compartments, so to speak, or those corridors of time begin to dissolve, or the traumas come up, which, you know, there's so much more conversation around and trauma awareness, which really to me just means energy that hasn't been found expression and has been repressed, suppressed, denied, unprocessed. And so that's what I see is the greatest challenge as people navigate this. And as you said, Janine, it's like, if you've done a lot of that work, then it's going to be more cruisy. It doesn't mean it's going to be, you know, there's going to be a bit of, you know, the water is the water. Some of it's wavy and some of it's, but it's not going to be as intense. And there's going to be more awareness or trust, even, you know, that this too shall pass. And I feel like that's a big shift, is the trust, is the surrender, is the allowing, is the, oh yeah, all is well. And going beyond, you know, the old egoic fear, which is death. That's one of the biggest, you know, fear of death, which means fear of change. So the resistance. So even for myself, you know, working with the part of my psyche and energies from that more duality consciousness, you know, putting the brakes on the resistance, and how that showed up in my body was left stuff on my left side, and especially my hamstring. And that was showing me that part of my energy was one foot on the brake, one foot on the accelerator, and how that was showing up in my body. And so that's the yes and the no. And so a lot of it is resolving that duality of yes and no. I'm going, I'm not going, I'm going, oh no, but what? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, but what? You know, the doubts and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So just as Sharron said, compassion for the journey, and for our humanness. And then to me, ultimately, it's, you know, it's loving this humanness, loving this body, and making friends with what it is. And so that our higher being can take the driver's seat and go, this is magnificence, and help us realize what a gift it is to be human.
You know, all fear and doubt is the mind. All fear and doubt is mind-based, thinking mind-based. And the thinking mind is not a part of our true nature as the pure, high-frequency, positive beings that we are. We are joy. We are love. Anything that's less than that is not part of our true being, of our true nature. We've been taught over all the years that we are all of it, and we must embrace the shadow parts of ourself and all that. They are not naturally a part of our being. They've been introduced into us through the programming. And then we've been taught we must look at all that and own it all. Well, we need to look at it now as it's rising through us. But everything in us is being purified at the moment. Every single part of us is purifying back into the high frequencies of the true being that we are, you know. And there's no ego in the true being. There's no ego personality that's mind-based in the true being, you know. So when we come into that frequency higher and higher, we realize the flow deeper and deeper, you know. And so in that flow, there's no resistance, there's no pushing, there's no pulling, there's no needing, grasping. There simply is, because we're in the purity of our trust and knowing of who and what we are. And that's our journey now, droplet by droplet, experience by experience, breath by breath. We're remembering, we're coming back into that beautiful flow of grace and ease, and creating a world where that grace and ease is all that we know and is joy, laughter, love, playfulness, all those pieces that we are encouraged now in every breath to experience our life as. We've been given permission by our higher selves. Go out and have fun, find your passion, be in your creative flow, play like children, be curious like the child, go out into life and be in the beauty. So we're having to be given permission to remember that, because we're so used to being in the shadows, the heaviness, the doubts, and the struggle of life. No more. That's the part that's going there, is all that heaviness and the lightness is coming in. So that is the exciting bit. You asked earlier, what is exciting? Well, that is the exciting bit. Giving ourselves permission to love life. Oh my gosh, giving ourselves permission to love ourselves.
And coming back to the self-love, that's why the self-love is so important, to love all that we are, all the energies, whether we call them light or dark or the dual, whatever it is. Just to me, that is because the field, or whatever we want to call it, is unconditional. Yes. Unconditionally inclusive. So that we have to include all that we are, all that we've been, all that we are becoming is part of that. And so to me, the real crux of it is releasing the judgment, which created the separation identity anyways. And so the more we release the judgment, which can be connected to shame and the discomfort and the cringiness, then the more all those parts become accepted and find that resolution, which is inclusion, then the more we can surf that wave and look like a really cool surfer.
Yeah. There's something to be said about the paradox of expansion, I feel. So this expansion is enabling us to see the contrast and the duality, which then enables us to come to a new point with it, or a new place with it. But it's full of paradox that, we're balancing in all of the ways in which we perceive the world at the moment. And I feel that that's in order that we can come into that 0 point, or the neutrality, or the higher place with it. And so this is what not is going to perhaps be our experience, but the collective awakening is definitely going to be faced with that. And so I feel that's part of our role now as light workers, is to hold that loving space and be inviting them. That's something I wrote yesterday as well, what you just spoke about, the childlike wonder, to be in childlike wonder, to be viewing it all from that beautiful, delightful place and space. And that can help us be more exploratory without having to have an outcome, but to be really gentle with ourselves, and to be in recognition that lots of people are going to be having that experience in this next little while. And some people are going to have instant ascension moments, and other people are going to be plowing through this, what is going on internally for them, in the contrast, the deep and the dark, and the light and the love, and the old and the new, and the ancient as well. We're going not just deeper and higher, but we're also going into the ancient. So a lot of cellular memory from the ancient might be coming up through the physical for release at the moment. So it's massive and incredible and challenging and delightful, all in the same breath.
Oh gosh, yes. I'd just like to add there, talking about child wonder, Sharron, is that what's coming back in us is within our purity, is our innocence. And innocence comes with beings who carry the knowing of all that is, yet are creating the experience of all that they know tangibly, physically, in a reality. which is what we're doing here. So there's so many new moments, because no moment really is exactly the same as a previous moment. No experience holds exactly the same energy. So the innocence is the, oh, look at that. Wow, that's brand new. Like, that's the child wonder, the child curiosity. And, you know, I adore those moments where you might be looking at something that you've looked at all your life in different ways, and then all of a sudden you're seeing it from a whole new depth of yourself. And there in that moment of innocence, you're seeing it clearly. The clarity is pure, and the beauty is felt vibrationally. So there's no human term for it. You just feel it. You can't even share the description with somebody because it's too deeply profound in that moment. And it could just be the sunlight off the water, whatever it is, when we see something for the very first time in its newness, that is innocence that is seeing it. And we're all coming back into that peace in ourselves, all of us. Yeah,
exactly. And I was just going to say before, that joy within and that excitement that we feel doesn't have to be expressed like Tigger bouncing all over the show, you know. It's such a serene, beautiful vibration within that, you know, you feel it, you're feeling it. It doesn't have to be really expressed in a wild way. But the other thing with the innocence is that, you know, it just reminded me of my beautiful little 4-year-old granddaughter, and she can look at something that, you know, I've seen plenty of times, and she's seeing for the first time, she go, isn't that amazing, Ganga? You know, and this joy in her of this amazement is just so cute, and it just takes me back into that beautiful joy of seeing it for the first time. And like you were saying, Janine, there's a newness in every moment now, you know, that with if we just consider the experiencing without making any judgment on it, just feeling the feeling of what that experience is really where we're at. And I'm sitting in a different space, definitely, as we're all speaking about this, we're all doing this in our own way, and that those moments are coming in all the time, and the appreciation for the body more and more and more, and the honor it is, you know, and the privilege. I feel so privileged and honored to have been, even to be here, whether I chose it or I was chosen, who knows, we're here. And I feel so honored to be here and to walk with all these other beautiful lights that are walking this walk and navigating our way through this together. It's an incredible space to be in and an incredible planet to be on. And I just appreciate it so much.
And you know, I'm that 4-year-old in many, many moments.
Yeah.
I'm your 4-year-old granddaughter. And it's like, gang, look at that. Wow, that's me.
Amazing.
That's how I feel at my age, you know?
Yeah. Great, eh? I love it too.
So that's what I was going to share. So like the innocence of a child, and what comes to me as you were talking, and I often feel it, is seeing through the eyes of source.
Yes.
Moment to moment to moment.
Yes.
That's what gives it the newness and the freshness, because
absolutely
it is in that moment completely unique.
The mind's not there. It's not narrating. It's not telling a story about it. It's just the absolute feeling of that moment.
I've been calling it divine sensory consciousness.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful. That's a lovely way of putting it, Sharron.
Yeah. And like we're, you know, the old consciousness was the 5 senses, right? Or, you know, 6th sense. And so the new consciousness is the sense of beauty and the sense of awe and the sense of wonder. They're like these new senses. You call them the divine. What did you call them, Sharron? Divine
sensory consciousness.
Sensory consciousness. So it's like this, it's like all these other kind of senses that we're tangibly connecting with, and unless you're tapped into those senses as well, there's no point trying to explain them.
No, that's right.
I just call it all sensing because it is all. It's the all within, the all without. Mm.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So I don't want to keep you too long. Just want to honor your time. So we're just coming up over 2 p.m. So just to wrap up, is there anything that's on your heart to share, or anything that you're up to, or anything you want to let people know about that you're offering, or any invitations, anything like that? Sharron, do you want to start us out this time?
Okay. Well, I am offering a Becoming the God Goddess course that begins at the end of this month, which is about an exploration of some of the archetype gods and goddesses from our history, and exploring the qualities of that and how we can bring them more into being in our way of being in the world. So that's the course that I'm offering. I feel that there's something to be said for looking through the eyes of wonder of a child for everybody. I want to tell you that one of the things that Mother Mary once said to me, which I always repeat but feels profound, was when I asked her what was the difference between love and joy, she said joy is love dancing.
It
I
is.
think that's rather beautiful.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
And that we are in this, I'm going all goosey, we're in these unprecedented times in our world. There's a lot that is coming up to be appreciated, to be loved. There's a lot of vulnerability coming up that allows us to drop more into our sensitivity. And lots of tears for many people. Many people are releasing through these tears. And we just have to hold
Beautiful
ourselves.
tears.
And yeah, that's right. And these tears of release, they can bring us to a softness. They can allow us to feel ourselves more deeply. As it's like we're really coming home to self. And on one part of this, that's definitely part of our journey, is to come home to self, home to soul, home to heart, home to our inner being.
Yeah.
And I do feel that part of the fulfillment, just like what you said earlier, I think it was Janine, is the fulfillment of the journey that's been taken. Fully felt, fully experienced, fully moved through by the heart, by the soul, by the bigger being that wanted to experience what it was like to feel, to forget oneself, to have this separation age. And I just, there's a deep passion in my soul to remind that nothing is wasted in consciousness.
No.
There's wisdom in all of it. So there has been no mistake. All of it is just being distilled into wisdom now, into grace, so that we can utilize all that has been, gets infused into all that we are becoming in the ever now present moment.
Yes.
We're coming into what Gaia has been calling the time of enlivenment, which relates to something that you said, Mandy, about how we're seeing this light in everything. So this is beginning to come into greater saturation, where everything will become the appearance of something that's sparkly and has its own auric field, and that's everything from the blade, which we know, but it's going to become available to everybody. And so this is the time that we're moving into, this time of enlivenment, where everything takes on its own consciousness. And that's a pretty exciting place to be moving into.
Yeah, exactly that.
You share anything else, Mandy?
Yes, I've got a 2-day workshop this weekend actually in Whangarei, Northland. And it is called the Inner Harmony Method. And so we're going through recognizing your patterns, how things, keep you rolling around in the same old, the distractions that keep you connected in, the threads that are connecting you into the old system, if we want to call it that, the old life. And on the Sunday, there's a lot in the Saturday. Sunday, there's ancestral clearing. So we're looking at where that all came through and clearing that. Also having at the end of the day, an hour on each end is a session with the healing masters. We're getting the field and bodies worked through with the healing masters. And it's the reset. So resetting, ready for the following day, and then of course on from there. And so that's Saturday and Sunday. Also, I'm going to start bringing that online so I can reach more people with that. And then Janine and I are sharing a beautiful gathering together here before Janine moves back down to her home. So on the 11th or 11th of August, we have here in Whangarei a birthing in the new body. So we're doing a day of that, and probably then going into different spaces and maybe Auckland, that sort of thing. We're looking at where else from there. But anyway, that's on the 11th. So that's going to be fun.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. Mm.
Fabulous. And what about for you, Janine?
I have a new course. You could call it the second part of a previous online course that I did. It's a 5-week course. So there's been quite a few waiting for the second part since the first course that I run. This particular 5-week course is starting in the first week of September. I haven't advertised it yet, but it's a wonderful opportunity now that I'm on here. And this course is all about coming into presence within the body and what that means. So it's about the brightening of the light we're carrying. It's about the deepening of the love that we are. It's about what is presence and why is that so important. So each week there is a theme, a topic under the umbrella of the five-week course. And within that, we have inner journeys, we have messages that come through, and there's a sharing in that. So it was very popular last time, and so I'm really looking forward to presenting that again. It's yeah, it's a really beautiful way of connecting in with people. Really, because the groups are never huge, it's like just about a one-on-one type experience. And not just with me, with each member of the group, but with the members of the group together too, because I noticed many friendships formed with the last group, beautiful, supportive, loving friendships. So, and also looking forward to my day with Mandy. That's a full day event, and that'll be wonderful as well. So thank you, Mary Jo. It's a fabulous time, as the four of us know, to be here in this experience that we call life. It's a wondrous time to be the pioneers moving forward and breaking new ground into holding on to the body and creating the new world. You know, it's yeah, it's like woohoo. Let's ride the wave, girls. Let's get on our surfboards and ride the wave.
We are the wave.
Yeah, here we are. And bring the joy in so that we can experience ourselves as love dancing. I love that shit. Very good.
Yes, joy is love dancing.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about water, just a reminder, if anybody is interested in going to Bimini with Rebecca Gambles, she is taking a group. Mary Jo and I are both going to Bimini to swim with the dolphins. And there's definitely, what has been happening for me is that there's been all of this extra level heightened awareness of Atlantis and the codes of the emerald. So I've done so much writing now about it. I can't possibly explain it in a moment, but that's when I asked, because I've been sent there. And so I know that it's all around that. But yeah, if you are interested, if that's something that appeals to you, we are heading off at the end of this month for a week in Bimini. So I'm sure Mary Jo will put
And Bimini, where's that? That is where?
Bimini's in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean.
Oh, very cool, girls.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I once said to Gaia, in regard to Atlantis, is there some significant space that's here in a physical way on the earth? And she said, yes, Bimini. And I dismissed it as a bit of fantasy. I thought it was ridiculous, but I did go and look it up, and lo and behold, yes, there is the island of Bimini. And so we're actually going to be snorkeling over one of the old roads that is said to be part of Atlantis.
Imagine the frequencies you'll be swimming in.
Yeah,
Swimming in.
for sure. Yeah.
So it feels very powerful. And so a lot of information has come to me about that, and the Emerald Code, the Emerald Order, the Emerald Tablets.
Beautiful.
So come along to Bimini to find out more.
Yeah,
I'll be
and
sharing
also
a room with Sharron, so I'll just be
and the 8th
swimming in it.
dimension.
Holding on to your foot so you don't get lost. Bermuda
And so,
Triangle.
yeah, so Rebecca does have, I think she's got about 10 people now, or 10 or 11. So people are booking on every day. And she, you know, it's a journey of trust for her. And she's very guided to create it and bring us together. So if anybody feels called, you'll know it in your heart. And just know as well that resistance is coming up, because these lifetimes in Atlantis, you know, there may be memories of the fall of Atlantis and different things. Rebecca did do a past life of Atlantis. I had some resistance myself to in that remembrance, but I've since kind of unfolded it. So just be aware of that as well. You may feel it in your heart, but then there may be a reluctance as well. So just tune in. If it's true for you, definitely reach out to Rebecca. She'd be delighted to connect with you and support you in releasing that resistance as well, if there is a past life there or something like that. Yeah, and I just wanted also to share that myself and Janine will be coming out as a collaborative book collective with the Gifts of Wisdom in October. So watch out for the launching and the posting around that. And yeah, we're all on Facebook. And yeah, do you want to just say, where do you like people to connect with you? Facebook, YouTube. Yep. Sharron, I know you're very active on YouTube.
Facebook Messenger for me, or my website. Yeah.
Do you want to mention your YouTube channel as well, Sharron, because yours is specific, the name?
Yeah, Inner Sanctum NZ is my YouTube channel, so you can find me there, or SharronMartin.com is my website, or on Facebook.
Yeah, beautiful. And what's your website, Mandy?
It's Mandy Horton, NZ.com, and YouTube's Mandy Horton, Facebook's Mandy Horton.
Yeah, and Janine?
I'm theheartlady.net. That's my website, and Janine Savient on Facebook.
And I'm Mary Jo, Divine Love Ambassador podcast, going through mega life transitions in 2024 and with new visions coming in to expand into a global, vibrant love community. So follow the love and you'll find me there.
Beautiful.
Love to meet you, ladies, and thank you for all who's watching. Make sure to leave your comments, and I would say all of us are more than happy to get some DMs from anybody with any questions, or you know, looking for any support or any, you know, guidance of what direction or what, you know, what might be helpful that we may have on offer. We'll open to that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Much love.
Lots of love, everyone.
Take care. Bye.
Love you all.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Now I have to go to the toilet. Bye.